Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants across the country, anywhere, nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. Goldbelly ships Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garden's famous cakes. So, if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT. That's goldbelly.com, promo code GIFT.
Oh yeah, look at my life. Hey now, hey now, yeah.
Hey now.
Oh yeah, look at my life out here on the road. Oh yeah, look at my life. Hey now, yeah. Oh yeah, look at my life out here on the road.
Hey now! Hi, everybody. Welcome to Scott Fox After 9. On today's episode, coming off of a few kind of heavier ones, yesterday was a lot about Ontario's specific issues, and I've talked about Pierre Poilievre and the speech he gave on the auto industry. Some real good episodes. If you're on spring break and missed a couple, I highly recommend you go back and listen. Today, we're intentionally going to keep things a little bit lighter. It is halfway through the March break, and I'm going to bring in a guest. The great Anna Almeida joining me on a Wednesday again. How are you, Anna?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. There's a number of things that I want to talk about, but, you know, the news cycle is pretty heavy from time to time. I think everybody understands that.
As of late, especially.
So let's talk about a few things that are in the news, but less political and less geopolitical.
All right.
Does that sound good to you?
I would welcome it.
Okay. I'm going to start off with something that I don't love the term, but have you heard the term tipping culture?
Yes.
Tipping culture is sort of the all-encompassing term to describe tipping. And we all know there's a lot more people asking for tips than used to.
Yeah, a lot of different places that I thought, really? There's a tipping function now on here? What? When did this happen and why?
I went to get a slice of pizza the other day, and it was just a regular run-of-the-mill mom-and-pop shop. And they had a tip button on the debit machine, and I couldn't figure out what the tip was for because the pizza was already made. They just took a slice, put it in the oven for 30 seconds, handed it to me, and handed me the debit terminal. And I thought, should I tip for that? Is that an example of where I would?
No, that's just like subs back in the day, even now. Like, I helped you make my sub. Yes, I didn't cut the bread, but I helped you make it. Why would I give you a tip? I used to work in sales. I used to bring out shoes for customers, put it on their feet. I never got tips. So do I feel like I got cheated out because I didn't get tips back in the day?
Okay, but in fairness, nobody's going to tip you unless you ask. So I kind of don't blame these businesses for putting the tipping function there. What I really dislike, though, is when they make you jump through hoops to do no tip. You know, they give you 3 options or other. And then if you hit other, well, key in the amount that you want to put in. All right, I want to put in 0. Then you got to press OK. Then you got to confirm the new price. And as you're doing it, I feel like they're looking at me wondering if I left a tip. And they're going to know as soon as they get the debit terminal back whether I did or didn't leave a tip. I almost feel like it should be customary for them to turn away. And not even look at the machine for like 5 minutes until I'm long gone.
Honestly, though, like that would make me feel so much better because I feel like I'm in a moment where I'm trapped that I need to give something, and I just didn't expect to have to tip if I'm going to get a slice of pizza. Like, this is just outrageous now. Like, why is this even happening? Yeah, and then you press 000 because you're not going to give anything, and then all of a sudden the machine cancels your transaction. They got to do it again, and then they know it's because you didn't give a tip. Oh, it's too much, and that's why I don't go out and get stuff.
Anna, a new survey says 67% of Canadians want to abolish tipping altogether. No tipping whatsoever. Could we ever get to that place where the bill is $100, you leave $100, and you're on your way?
I don't think we'll ever get there.
I don't think so either.
And I'm okay with tipping. It just has to be the right format. Like, if I'm going to a restaurant, they're serving me, they're going beyond, I'm going to tip really well. But if the service is just meh, I'm still going to tip. I'm just going to tip you based on how you served me. I'm not going to tip amazingly if you didn't perform in a way that you should have.
Okay. 93%. I think we would agree that's a fairly compelling number.
Oh, that's huge.
93% say they are annoyed by tip prompts in places like fast food counters and self-serve kiosks.
Yes.
Self-serve. Why would you leave a tip at self-serve? That one I can't wrap my mind around.
That I don't understand. Like, who's getting the tip here? I feel like I should be tipping myself for showing up. 89%
believe tipping culture has gotten out of hand and percentages are too high.
Yes. And sometimes even I go and get my hair done. I love going to the hairdresser. They wash my hair. They make me feel beautiful. But when I'm leaving a tip and then I see the bill, it could be over $300 if I'm leaving what the recommended tip is. Like it could be $40, $50, $60. Who has that kind of extra money?
So when you go for beauty services, because
Yes.
that's an interesting one, because that's one where I feel like you shouldn't tip a percentage of the total. You should tip a certain amount.
That's what I do.
And if it took them an hour to do the manicure
Yeah.
or the pedicure,
Yes.
and you tip them 20%, that's what? That's a $20 tip. Is that how much you would leave anyway, or would you leave like $5 or $10 for something like that?
Okay, for manicures, and I go with a friend, and then she and I compare notes before we even go in, so we are leaving the same amount. So one doesn't look worse than the other,
Right.
Right. So, and if they're extra chatty or very nice, I just got my nails done last week. I left a $10 tip, but that's because she did my toes and my hands. But then I get in my own head too. I'm like, wow, was I cheap? Should I given more? Like I feel like this enormous amount of weight on my shoulders because I don't want people to think I'm a horrible tipper or a bad person.
Nobody wants that.
Right?
You feel judged. And maybe that's where tipping culture comes
yes.
from, because they're not asking you for a tip, but it's certainly implied. And if you don't leave one,
Yeah.
is it on you for feeling bad, or is it on them for putting any pressure on? If they even did put pressure on, just asking for a tip, I suppose, is pressure.
It is pressure and it comes up. But if I'm going to go get my nails done, I expect to leave a tip. That's one of those places. But if I'm going to go get a slice of pizza or a burger at a fast food place, like, why am I tipping you? This is part of the job that you were hired to do.
But couldn't you make the same case for a server?
Yeah, but we know that they're getting paid less than the minimum wage. And so the tips are what counterbalance everything. So I expect that.
Off topic, but on.
Yeah.
Is minimum wage high enough? If somebody's working in a burger restaurant and they're making, say, what is it, 17, 18 bucks an hour now, is that a fair wage, or should it be upon us to add more to their total so they take home more?
No, I was making $7 an hour. I worked 3 jobs to pay my way. That's just what it is. I would have loved $17. I know things are more expensive, but at the end of the day, it's not my responsibility to make sure that things are balanced out. That's your employer. They should be treating their staff and providing proper income. I'm happy to tip. But at the end of the day, like, it can't be on me. How about if it's just a slow day at the restaurant? Like, there's nothing we can do.
I worry about the restaurant owners. The restaurants in particular, I think, are the place where most people think a tip is appropriate.
Yes.
But, they're not making a lot of money either. So I don't see raises coming down the pipe anytime soon. I'm also aware that the cost of living is very high and employees would like to take home more money. So I feel very conflicted because there are scenarios where I never used to tip. Now they're asking for a tip and I just really can't figure out if I should.
Yeah, no, it's really hard. I like to converse with my friends. I'm like, what did you guys leave? Because I don't want to be the friend that left the least amount. Honestly, I just want to be equal and everybody is getting the fair share. But if you go and you serve me people don't realize just how nice a smile is. I will give a tip if you made me feel a certain type of way and nice. I like to make sure that you too feel nice, but I'm also not rich either. So if I'm going to go out for dinner, I've planned this. I'm prepared to tip.
Okay.
Right? So if I'm going for a fast food to get a burger, like, I'm sorry, no.
Maybe restaurants should keep this in mind. Any business, really. 41% say they avoid businesses that push aggressive tipping prompts. What's an aggressive tipping prompt? Is that where you can only tip 15, 20, or 25 and there's really no option to leave no tip?
I've actually started seeing no 15 on there. I've been seeing 20, 25, 30.
Really?
Yes.
That seems like an awful lot to tip 30% of a total on anything.
Or your tip is already on there. Like, excuse me, I will let you know how much I want to tip. Please don't put that on my bill already. I will figure that out. Like, you don't know my situation. And then people say, well, then don't go out to eat. Well, that's not fair either. I work hard. I want to go out too, but it has to be a give and take here.
I got to think people in some of the higher end restaurants are doing pretty well. Okay. Let me give you an example. I was at the Keg semi-recently. Okay. And I'm going to suggest for a couple to go out to the Keg. Bill is probably going to be between $200 and $250. By the time you have a couple of entrees, maybe a bottle of wine or a couple of cocktails, it's got to be between $200 and $250. Okay, well, that's at least a $40 tip. I was talking to one waitress, the one who was serving us. She had 6 different tables on the go. 6 different tables. If they're all leaving $40, that's a decent amount of money. And that's way more than she's making hourly.
Yeah, that is way more. But then that will balance out because she's likely not making the minimum wage that you would as a server.
And I think she has to tip out other people that work in the restaurant
Usually,
too.
not all places, but most do, or they share the tip. So I understand, like, you work hard to make more. And I get that. To have 6 tables, I'm always so impressed. Like, I can't bring out a cup of tea without spilling. I walk into the kitchen, don't even remember what I'm going in there for. So, like, kudos to these servers because I could never do it.
Yeah, if they turn over those 6 tables twice in a night, that's $500. That's a pretty good day's wage.
That's good. Yeah, if people go out, that's a really good Saturday. It doesn't mean that it's always going to be like that.
No, that's a great point too. Okay, moving on. York Regional Police have decided not to lay charges against a resident who shot and injured a home intruder. Police were called just before 1 a.m. to reports of a shooting at a home in Vaughan. They say multiple suspects, armed with at least one firearm, forced their way into the home. Police say the suspect intruders were dropped off at the Toronto the suspect intruder, the one that was dropped off at a Toronto area hospital, had a gunshot wound. Charges against him are pending. Last month, prosecutors withdrew a charge in a high-profile case against a man in Lindsay who had been accused of assaulting a home intruder in August 2025. It's the right move, right? We're not charging homeowners for this.
I'm so happy to hear we got it right. Honestly, if you're breaking into my home and you're posing a threat to my life and my family and what I've worked hard to achieve in life, you best believe it's either going to be me or you, and it ain't going to be me. So I will do whatever it takes to protect me and my family.
Does that make you want to get a firearm?
Yes, and we talked about this.
Yeah.
We did, because honestly, I was reading through the comments, and so many of the comments also said that, like, how do I apply for a license now so I can have, because he had, his weapon that he discharged was something that was registered to him.
It was a registered gun. He was a legal firearm owner. Nothing nefarious here. And, well, he probably doesn't have that gun specifically to shoot people who try and break into his home. He had a gun and he used it. And I don't really blame him for doing that.
Yeah, honestly, years ago, I would have been absolutely not interested. But with the climate in today's world, I feel like the more you know, the better you are for it. And I think having the proper handling, proper knowledge of handling firearms, I think that's the right thing to do. And if you can have it in your home and you know it's there, it's just something extra that you know where it is, they don't know. Just like you know your home, they don't know your home like you know your home.
It's true. Have you thought about going to get that? Like, have you looked into where to take the course and stuff like that?
Not yet, but I know that I want to do it this summer. I do it over a long weekend. I think that's really important. I just want to feel comfortable too, because guns are scary. I'm sorry. I find guns really scary. People just carrying them just because, that scares me. But I'd want to know if I was ever in a situation and I'm presented with one, I know what I'm looking for, how to properly use it if I ever have to. And yeah, I think I'm better for it and the safety of my family too.
I'm trying to figure out why we're dragging our feet on just making castle laws permanent.
I don't know.
Just encode it right in law that you have the right to defend yourself. And I think that's a great scenario. You get a bang on the door in the middle of the night. They're trying to get in. And in this case, they did get in. They only retreated when they realized, oh, wow, he's got a gun and he is shooting. One of them actually got shot. Yeah. Lucky he's not dead.
Yeah. But I would have been like, well, too bad. Sorry. I'm like, if they didn't care about that person or their safety or anything and the trauma that situation is going to leave and impacting everybody involved, honestly. So to me, I think, yeah, the guy, I saw that video. They broke in through the door. They had a gun on them. Yeah, I think I'm happy that nothing else happened, but I think this is smart. Like, we should have castle law. It's just a given. Have it. And if you don't, you're going to hear more people are taking matters into their own hands. We're hearing more and more about home invasions than I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's scary, isn't it?
It is so scary. A bat can only do so much. I'm sorry. If you have multiple people coming in, you got to do what you got to do to protect your family. And I'm happy no charges have been laid. That was the right decision, and that the charges against that other person from August has been redacted, because I think that was the wrong decision made at that time.
I like that you suggested a bat, because just the other day, Ontario Premier Doug Ford suggested we should legalize pepper spray and allow people to carry it around. And one of the justifications for legalizing it would be Women. Women want to feel more secure, particularly when they're in a strange area or they're out late at night, maybe leaving work, and they should have some ability to defend themselves. You yourself go to work in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Could you see yourself carrying around pepper spray, and would you ever use it?
Yeah, if I had to, I would. I've been in weird circumstances. I worked before this morning show. I worked at a different, worked in TV for a morning show, and I had 2 men actually outside my door. One by my car,
Wow.
one on my porch.
What?
I kid you not. It was the scariest experience, and I had nothing on me. And I just had to use crazy eyes to try to scare them away and say, hey, like, not today. Like, I am not the girl to mess with right now. And for some reason, they backed off. He called the other guy away from my car. And I'm sure they were probably looking to break into cars and steal whatever was in it. But I managed to get into my car and get to work. And had I had my pepper spray, I probably would have used it. That's too close for comfort.
Right. The thing about a bat is you've got to be within the length of a bat for it to be effective if you actually make contact. There's also a concern that the other person could intercept your swing, take the bat, and then use it against you.
Exactly.
Pepper spray, I feel like, has a similar dilemma. You've got to be fairly close to the person to deploy the pepper spray. Would you feel confident if you were able to go into, say, Canadian Tire, buy pepper spray, put it on your keychain, and then if you found yourself in a scenario where you had to use it, that you could and actually defend yourself?
Right now, I'd like to say yes, but in the moment, I think I'd probably be nervous. And I spray hairspray and it gets everywhere. So, like, I
This
can't
is the
even
thing.
imagine with pepper spray, especially in that moment of pure intensity and you're trying to figure things out. I would like to think that I would do it correctly, but I'm also scared that it would back in the wind. You can't control the wind.
That's
that
right.
sucker can put that in your face too, and then we're all down. But I will say I would at least like to have the option with me in case I'm ever presented in a situation like that.
Is there anything that would be better for you that you would feel more secure about? Like, would you feel more comfortable with a handgun, a taser, or something else like that, a knife?
Okay, handgun, I would probably shoot you. Honestly, shoot you in the leg. But I would, as a joke, honestly, I just would feel really insecure. I'd like a gun in my home. I know my home better, but I would love a taser. Give me the taser. That would work better because I know that it can't come back on me if I deploy it and it gets you. That's what I would like.
But with a taser, you've got to be within arm's reach. I mean, if somebody comes up behind you and they grab you from behind, if you've got the taser, all you have to do is touch them somewhere and they're going to get a big shot, which is great. I think that actually is a lot more accessible than having pepper spray handy, where if you have to spray over your shoulder, the odds that you're going to get it in your own face.
Honestly, I know we can laugh about it, but that is literally the truth. You have to be in arm's length. You got to take the thing. You got to shoot it. I like the taser idea. That's a lot easier and just go and shoot and do what you need to do. Obviously, police use it. So really, they use it a lot more than they use pepper spray. So that's telling you something.
Certainly is.
About the effectiveness.
Okay, let's keep going through a couple of different topics here.
Oh, this is good.
I'm glad you're having a great time.
You can also tell that I'm violent.
Welcome to After 9. An Ontario hospital says the virtual waiting room that they've set up to address overcrowding in the actual emergency room is reducing wait times. Dr. Stephen Smith, who is the vice president of medical affairs at a Sault Ste. Marie hospital, said the virtual ER waiting room opened in August, and the results have been encouraging for patients with less urgent concerns. Basically, you go online, you can talk to a doctor or a nurse practitioner, you tell them what it is you want to come to the ER for, and maybe you can avoid having to go to the ER altogether. Maybe you just need a prescription for antibiotics. Maybe you need to take some Tylenol and go to bed. Like, a lot of people go to the emergency room thinking that what they've got is urgent, when it's really not urgent. They could have gone to see a family doctor or literally just slept it off.
For me, honestly, I'm old school. I like having somebody who went to medical school actually look and help me out. But with that being said, I always check Dr. Google and now ChatGPT for anything and everything now before I even make the attempt to go see a medical professional. I just I put it all out there and see what the scenario that they've come up with. And then from there, I decide, okay, I think this is actually something and I should probably do it. I even do it for my dog.
Dogs in particular. Vets are expensive.
Yes.
If you can try and mitigate some of that, I mean, don't necessarily take medical advice from me or this pod or Anna or from AI, but in certain cases, AI knows. And if you say, hey, my dog is licking his paws a lot,
You can take a picture, send it off, and then it will go through everything it knows.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe that does save you a $300 vet bill for a checkup where they're going to tell you the same thing that ChatGPT told you.
Well, that's just it. But I do like going and seeing somebody in case the computer has a glitch and it missed something. But also humans miss things too. Like it is what it is. It's the times. They're overworked too. They can't do everything all the time, even though they're supposed to. But it's hard. But I do like this for those who live in more rural areas. Like I lived out east, and Cape Breton, for instance, there are people who really, they live in the middle of nowhere. To get access to a doctor is difficult. So if there's something like this, and then they know it's a little bit more serious, they should seek medical advice. I think that's wonderful.
You know, I'm thinking I was at the hospital in the emergency room just a couple of weeks ago when I had that infection in my hand. And across from me in the ER was a woman who had checked in, and she brought half of her family with her. And this is exactly what she told the nurse when the nurse came in. You know, the nurse comes in, does the blood pressure, and hey, how you feeling, all that sort of stuff.
And then at that point, you're like, oh my gosh, it's moving fast. That's where they trick you.
Yeah. Seriously, she had gotten back on the treadmill for the first time in a while. She decided to start working out. So she did a 20-minute run on the treadmill and started having chest pains and shortness of breath. She thought she was having a heart attack. Oh. The end result, after they put her through just a litany of different tests, was, you're a little out of shape. You should probably ease into your workout. That was it. There was no prescription, probably no need to see a medical doctor. And I understand why that woman thought, this is urgent. I've got to go to the ER. Oh, and by the way, she came in an ambulance.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
So the ambulance staff had already checked all her vitals and all that sort of thing. Everything was fine. But she was convinced she was having a heart attack, and she wasn't. It wasn't urgent at all. She was just out of shape, and she's got to work into her workout. That took up a lot of time for the doctor in the ER. I mean, is that not something where maybe walk-in clinics should be open in the middle of the night to take some of the pressure off the ER?
I wish there were 24-hour walk-in clinics. Legitimately, I wish, because that's where I would go before I'd go to the emergency room. I would do that. And you can't tell somebody who feels like they're having a heart attack any different. So she had to go to the hospital. And that's just the case that that particular person was in. And that's until the doctor actually said it, she wasn't going to believe it.
There's certain places in the States where they have urgent care clinics, and it's not the family doctor and it's not the ER. It's like a step in between. And I feel like that could mitigate a lot of the wait times that we have in hospitals here in Canada. Case in point, if you have, I don't know, you fell off your bike and you got a pretty big cut on your knee. Mm-hmm. You could go in there and they'll stitch it up and send you on your way.
Oh, man.
Your family doctor isn't stitching anything. The walk-in clinic, they're not stitching you up. But at this urgent care clinic, they stitch them up. Here's some antibiotics. Be on your way. If you have a broken arm, they can set it, not necessarily set it in a cast, but they can brace it properly, write a referral for x-rays. Then you can go in there and get the cast on. You never even have to go to the hospital. And I feel like there's so many people that go to the hospital for the wrong reasons, i.e. they don't want to wait for their family doctor. They can't get a family doctor. They don't believe the walk-in doctor, and it's really not urgent. So they go to the ER. Mm-hmm. If we did have that step in between, wouldn't that make sense to try and mitigate some of the people that go to the ER for what end up being fairly trivial reasons? Huge. Like even when I had the dog bites last year, I knew that I just needed an injection. Like anybody could have done it. But I had to go to the ER because nobody was open. And then I sat there for hours, and then I knew that I was wasting their time. I know that I needed it, but it was just, if something in the middle could have done that, it would have been so much easier for everybody. When are you running for office so you can put these suggestions in motion? Because that is such common sense. Why aren't we doing it? Yeah, I don't know if it's we don't have the staff or we don't have the ambition or what, but I have to think if you're a doctor, maybe even with a little bit of experience in an ER, maybe you don't want to work those ER hours and the demanding stuff that goes into it. Maybe you just want to set up a late night urgent care clinic. I have to think that would be a good business.
Yeah, I think it's great. And we welcome newcomers with experience like that. Then I think that's when immigration works, honestly.
All right, quick quiz for the hiring managers out there. What's worse, being understaffed or being poorly staffed? Well, that's a trick question because both are recipes for chaos. Either way, just say to yourself, this is a job for Indeed-sponsored jobs. You'll get matched with candidates that meet the skills, certifications, and everything else you're looking for. Or go a different way and get no traction Seriously, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed are 95% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. It really is a no-brainer. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help your job get the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs.
There is a new pill that is coming out, and I'm curious to see if you would take it. The New York Post writes about Bloom Science, who has developed a pill that mimics the effect of the popular keto diet. In early trials, study participants experienced weight loss and favorable metabolic changes. Most participants dropped 10 pounds in the first 2 weeks of the trial.
Give it here.
The pill is composed mainly of live bacteria, viruses, bacteria, fungi, and microorganisms. Its makers say it allows people to not have to give up carbs.
Give it to me. Do you have it there?
Okay, so I guess you're a believer.
I would do it, yes. Honestly, I do believe in fitness, getting out to the gym, moving your body. That's medicine, truly. But sometimes it's like, I can't lose those extra 10 pounds. It's like all of a sudden I turn 40 and it's just sticking and it's driving me crazy. And it just makes me feel insecure. It doesn't matter how many times somebody can tell you, you look wonderful, but if you don't feel good, and to me, it's like, okay, if I can fit into my old pants, then yeah, I'd give that a shot and see. It's not a forever thing. That's the thing people have to realize. But if it can help you meet your goals, then it's up to you to maintain it.
So I see all these people that are doing like the Ozempics and the Monjaros and stuff like that. And what I'm really wondering is, A, if everybody that's on it needs it.
Yes.
And B, what happened? Because I thought that those were supposed to be for people that were obese and needed to lose a lot of weight. The people who are just trying to lose a couple of pounds here and there, I heard that in Hollywood, there was a shortage of Ozempic last week because of the Oscars.
You can microdose now, so you can just have it and just...
Microdose?
Yeah, you can...
Come on.
I'm not kidding. You can microdose it.
Wow.
Yeah, just to maintain. So, yeah, I know people who microdose. I don't microdose, but I definitely would have been open to it had I had the opportunity, but my doctor shut that down.
What happens when you come off of it, though? Do you put on the weight and then some? I've heard from a lot of people that tried various diets, and the diet was very effective. But as soon as they got off the diet, bam, the weight just piled on twice as fast as it previously did.
And those are my friends, too, who did bodybuilding shows and who did fitness competitions. They're like, you're never that small like you are the moment you walk on that stage. Once you're off that routine, it's hard. The weight does come on, and for some pretty quickly. So that is where the mind game is, and that's why people stick to those fitness shows sometimes or stay on the weight loss drugs, because it's hard to see your body change so quickly. And that's where the microdosing tube is able to come in. And I've had friends who I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Like, you lost a lot of weight real quick. She's like, well, I'm pre-diabetic. So I'm like...
Really?
If that helps you make you feel better.
And you probably went to the ER to get the prescription.
Right. I'm vain. I'd just say, I just wanted to look nice. Like, I get Botox. I'm like, I just want to look young and fresh.
What did you do for St. Patrick's Day, Anna?
I went to the gym.
You went to the gym. Hey, that's good. You said you're trying to lose some weight.
I am.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Although, if you don't mind my saying so, it doesn't seem like, none of my business, but it doesn't seem like you need to lose any weight. Like,
you're so nice.
Are you just being overly hard on yourself?
No. I literally had a moment. I get the winter blues really bad. Can I be full disclosure?
No, that's a real thing. A lot of people are feeling it this year.
I really felt it this year. I feel like, man, I'm in quite the season, and I love carbs. I'm Portuguese. I love bread. I love all of that. And I just wasn't moving my body like I typically would have. And I just didn't feel the drive to go to the gym. And when I did go to the gym, I literally went to the massage chair. Like, I was missing the point. I needed more initiative. And
you went to the gym to use the massage chair?
Did.
That was it. You didn't work out.
I didn't. I just went for the massage
Anna.
chair. I'm not even, and that's how honest I am. I'm fully telling you. And so I needed to make some changes. And it really hit me when I was taking my nephew out to a lacrosse game. And I couldn't fit into any of my jeans.
Oh.
Okay. None of my jeans would do up. And I hit rock bottom in that moment, because I'm like, no, I don't want to go buy all new jeans. I need to make sure I feel good about myself. And I know it's internally first. So I'm putting in the work now.
Okay. That's good. When you have to go up a jean size,
Yeah.
and in a lot of cases it's age, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yes.
I was my heaviest when I was 20 years old.
Interesting.
And I've been losing weight ever since then, but just in the last year or two, I'm starting to put the weight back on again a little bit. And at some point soon, I'm going to have to make a tough choice and decide, do I really want to squeeze my fat ass into a 34 or should I just get a 35? But that would mean replacing all my clothes.
And that's the thing. I'm not going to have the body I once did. And if I did, awesome. And that means I really worked my tush off to get there. But I'm happy with having curves, right? But I'm good being a size 5, 6. I just don't want to be an 8. And there's nothing wrong with being a size 8. To me, I just feel my best when I'm at that size. I feel like I have more energy. My clothes fit me better. And I don't want to go spend more money on things that I already have at home. And I like my jeans. So
when you were out for St. Patty's Day, you didn't go to a bar or anything?
No, but can I tell you, when I just signed up a Fusion. It's in Cambridge, and I'm really happy because it took me a long time to figure out what gym worked best for me, and that's my thing. And so I went there yesterday, and it was a high school reunion. It seemed like everybody wasn't at the pub; they were at the gym, and all wearing green. That was so much fun.
All right. Hey, I didn't see that. I never thought to go to the gym on St. Patty's Day.
I didn't either. I ran into so many people from high school and then current friends. I didn't even know they worked out there. They're like, come do chest with me. Let's go on the treadmill. We're going to do hot Pilates. I thought, this is amazing. Who would have thought?
Hey, that's good motivation, though.
It was. So now I'm going to go with a friend tonight to go to the gym because we ran into each other yesterday. So that's the nice community.
Okay. In honor of St. Patty's Day, let's do a little St. Patty's Day recap and see how the surveys that they did leading into St. Patty's Day checked out.
Okay.
I went to a number of bars yesterday.
I'm so jealous. Good for you.
I love pubs. You know, I'll be honest. I think it's a lost thing.
I love pubs.
People used to go to the pub either on their lunch break or after work semi-regularly. I don't know if it's the prices that got out of control or people are drinking less or they just don't prioritize going to a bar as much as they used to, or maybe we're not as social as we used to, but I feel like that's not as much a thing anymore.
I find that more here in this area potentially because when I lived out in Halifax, they had so many pubs. And
it's a great pub culture out there.
And we were always at the pubs and I loved it and just everybody's attitudes there. Everybody's just happy-go-lucky.
How many drinks do you have to have before you say, well, I'm going to be hungover tomorrow?
4.
4 drinks. On average, 3.2 is what people say after, say, a little over 3 drinks. I'm going to be dealing with a hangover the next day.
Okay. If I'm drinking beer, I don't really get hungover, but like literally a drink and a half, I'm lightweight. I'm pretty toast. I do enjoy having a good time, though.
28% of wine drinkers say they get a headache from just 1 glass of red wine. These are wine drinkers that know if they drink it, 1 glass is going to give them a headache.
Oh, my Portuguese culture would be they would be pretty mad if I got a headache after 1 glass of wine. I've been drinking wine since I was a baby. Mm-hmm. They put it in your soup.
So I've found a limit with red wine, and it's usually in and around a bottle where I might end up with a headache. I can't drink white wine anymore. My palate changed at some point, and just white wine doesn't do it for me. I never get a headache. I never get hungover, but I just don't like it.
I just find it so sweet, and it just doesn't do it. There's something about reds, and I love bold flavors. It just goes with everything. I can sip on it. It's delicious.
92% of drinkers say they will go to work even with a hangover. Yeah. 92%.
Done it.
Can I throw an asterisk on that, though? Because I feel like there's a bit of a generational divide. And I don't want to do the whole back in my day thing. But if you're one of my younger listeners, I'm going to do it. Back in the day, we would go out to bars or clubs. Thursday used to be a busy night to go out to bars. I would go out on a Thursday night. Last call, 1 o'clock. I would go home, sleep for a couple of hours, and go to work the next day. And whether I was hungover, still drunk, or felt fine, I would still be at work the next day. I hear from more and more people that younger generations are far more likely to call in sick when they've got a hangover.
Yeah, my nephew's 23, and when he said things like that to me, I'm like, you're weak. You're weak. I'm sorry.
Are they weak or are they just smarter than us? I mean, if you've got sick days, why not use them for a hangover?
It's just like, I don't want to use my sick day for that, even though I am feeling sick. No, it's the fact that I can't even admit to myself that I'm that hungover. Like, no, I'm going to work. I'm showing up. And also, that was the rule. Like, if you're going to go out drinking, Anna, then you best be going to work tomorrow. Like, that was what my dad would push on me. Otherwise, you're never drinking or going out again. So you had to show up.
The new most popular beers in America list is out. Very difficult to find this information for Canada, but in America, they seem to track this and it's readily available. What do you suppose the most popular beer in America is right now in March 2026?
Ooh, I don't know. Bud Light.
If you had to guess, Bud Light would have been my guess too. Actually, it's Sam Adams.
I've never had Sam Adams.
Try the Boston Lager.
Really?
It's great.
Okay.
You can only have a couple of them, but it's a great beer. Sam Adams is the new number one, followed by Corona at number 2.
Classic. Can't go wrong with a Corona.
Budweiser.
Oh.
Heineken.
Yeah.
Stella Artois.
Good.
Bud Light. Red's Apple Ale, correction. Then Guinness.
Oof.
Then Dos Equis and Blue Moon. Let me circle back on the you said with Guinness. It's a love-or-hate thing with Guinness, I
don't
find.
like it at all.
Really?
And even when I went to Ireland, I drank a lot of it just because I was in Ireland. I felt like that was the right thing to do. But I just find it's so hoppy and dark. It's not for me. I don't know. Do I like lighter beers? Maybe that's what it is. Because I do like a Stella. I do like Heineken. I like Corona. I do like Bud Light Canadians. Yeah. Those are the go-tos.
Do you ever go into a bar and order a beer, or are you a cocktail or wine
beer.
first? Your beer.
Yeah, if I'm going to a pub, I'm not ordering a cocktail. That just feels so wrong.
Yeah, in a bar.
Right?
And I don't think they want to do it either.
No,
if they're a
it's
bartender at a pub, just which tap should I turn on
Right?
for you?
To me, it just feels wrong. No, you give me the beer.
Yesterday, Ontario Premier Doug Ford announced he is changing a policy in Ontario that will allow you to take your booze with you to various community events. So Attorney General Doug Downey, that's a great name, by the way,
Yeah.
Doug Downey. It sounds very, very official for an Attorney General. Doug Downey says starting this spring, organizers of events such as movie screenings, art exhibits, neighborhood festivals, and farmers markets will be able to apply for a BYOB permit. Attendees would then be able to drink their own alcohol in designated areas. The government says if municipalities don't already have bylaws that authorize the use of alcohol in public, they will be required to do so. So this isn't a lock, but the premise of this is interesting to me. And I also note that when the polls are down, Doug Ford has a bad habit of talking about alcohol. That seems to be his go-to when he tries to earn a little favor with the electorate.
Can I just tell you, I'm going to incriminate myself, but I've been drinking at these festivities for years. I've been bringing my own stuff, so yeah.
A lot of people do. It's basically tailgating.
Yeah, or your roadie, you put it in because things can add up really quickly, or those places don't serve alcohol, so you want to have a good time. Not to say you have to have alcohol to have a good time, but it kind of goes with it, hand in hand. You go to watch a movie outside, it's nice to have a drink.
Yeah, I think those outdoor movies are kind of intended for families, though. Do we really want a whole bunch of people carrying around a 6-pack or a bottle of wine while they're watching it? You do. Okay. All right. No, that's fair.
But the farmers market, that one threw me. That one shocked me because that's usually farmers markets are first thing in the morning.
Yeah, and I've never woken up once and thought, I'm going to get pissed and go to the farmer's market.
I want to see that.
Never once done that. That's a weird one. Yeah. The one that I'm curious about, though, and two things in particular, event organizers will be able to apply for this special permit. And if they get granted the permit, no reason to think they won't, then they can set up an area, a designated area where people can drink their own alcohol. If someone was going to go to all the trouble to apply for a permit, they would also probably apply for a liquor license and sell alcohol, meaning they wouldn't want you bringing your own booze to that.
Exactly. Yeah, this is just another way of them cleverly trying to make money, right? Get the license, get this, get that. But maybe if somebody's interested, they could do it. And they don't want to get in trouble. If you're having a street party and you're afraid it's going to get shut down because people are walking around with liquor, that's a great way to cover your butt, too.
The one where I find people are most likely in the community setting to bring their own alcohol is one that's not mentioned here, and I'm wondering if that's intentional or an omission.
Which one?
Parents that are going to watch their kid play a sporting event.
Oh.
Anna, the amount of times, and you know my background in sports, particularly minor sports, the amount of times I have had to go out into a parking lot and tell parents, put the booze away, because parents were getting drunk in the parking lot in between games. Then they'd go into the arena and watch their kid play, and they'd be completely belligerent. I'm hoping that we're not going down that road where we're legalizing people drinking at community centers, then going to watch their kid play t-ball or soccer.
Oh, no. I can see it being like, having a coffee and some Baileys in there if you're in the arena. But then also the intensity of some parents already at these games. And then you put some alcohol in there. Like, I don't want anything to do with that.
You should see it, Anna. And I get it. For parents, you sort of form a friend group with the other parents on the team. And you're going to spend a lot of time with them over the course of a season. You start to get social. Somebody pulls out a barbecue. Somebody else pulls out a cooler with some drinks in it. And before you know it, you've got a couple. Most of them are perfectly responsible. But you get a couple of them that overdo it, and then bam, we got to call the police and trespass them because they got drunk at a kid's soccer game.
And it just ruins it for everybody.
I'm hoping we don't go down that road, but it's kind of open for interpretation based on this new law that Ford created.
Ooh, that's the trickery. That's the one. That's the one that we're going to have some issues with, I think.
And last but certainly not least, it was also announced yesterday they're going to allow people to drive in HOV lanes, even if they don't have a passenger, during off-peak hours.
What are those hours? Midnight to 3 a.m.? Like, it's always busy.
Yeah, maybe this works in places like Ottawa or places like that, but in the GTHA, that's the Greater Toronto Hamilton area, I don't know if there is an off-peak period. I mean, at any given time, 24/7, there could be massive traffic. I don't know if people getting into the HOV lane is going to mitigate that, or if we're taking away an opportunity from someone who actually does have a passenger.
Yeah, this is true. I drive by myself more than I ever drive with anybody. I just like my own company. It's just easier.
Yeah, you can control the radio. You can listen to whatever podcast you want. It's great. 72% of the vehicles on Ontario highways, the last time they did the numbers in 2022, 72% were solo drivers, no passengers. So that means by definition, these lanes are only open to 28% of drivers. Now, the exception is electric vehicles. I don't know how much longer we need to incentivize buying an electric vehicle by allowing you to drive in the hot lane. Maybe we don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah, because I do see that lane wide open and I'm stuck in traffic and it blows my mind. And then I think, should I just say F it and just go and be by myself? But then,
I've risked it.
Did you?
I have. Okay. I hate to admit it, but I have. Well, there was nobody else around really, and that lane was wide open, so I just did it.
And for me, I want to do it. And that little voice says, just say F it and go, Anna. But then I know I have that kind of luck that there's going to be a cop. That one time there's going to be a police officer. But in all honesty, I never see cops patrolling those lanes. Do you?
Not very often. No, if I'm being honest, I don't see that very often. I don't think I've ever seen somebody pulled over because they were driving alone in the HOV lane. Unless they're being ridiculous about it and they did something like, oh, I got a mannequin from Temu and I put a hat and a jacket on it.
I'm always so impressed by those people that they go the extra mile just so they can get in that lane. I think it's funny.
Next level ingenuity.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up this episode, something I want to play for you, and it's something that if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago if I thought this was a thing or a big thing, I would have said no. But wow, was I ever proven wrong. Team Venezuela, Cinderella story, came back and beat Team USA in America and won the World Baseball Classic. Okay. All right.
I think it's just wonderful. But I always love an underdog story, right?
How do you not?
That's what movies are made from and dreams. Yeah. And I think that whole story just inspired a whole bunch of people to pursue taking up baseball.
I want to play just a little bit of one of the post-game interviews. Ken Rosenthal, Major League Baseball guy on Fox, he was trying to interview the players. And after most baseball games, win or lose, you can grab one of the standout players from that game and you can have a conversation with them about baseball. I don't know if Ken really appreciated the moment that he was walking into here or how emotional Team Venezuela would be. Yeah. But he started off trying to do a baseball interview, and whoever this guy is that he was interviewing wanted none of it. Listen to this.
I mean, what can I say about this? It's amazing. God is good. All the glory is for Lord Jesus. He was with us the whole time. We have to glorify, put his name in front of everything. And nobody believed in Venezuela, but now we win the championship today. And it's a celebration for all the Venezuelan country.
Your go-ahead double in the ninth inning. What were you thinking when you were standing on second base?
I just pray at the time. Going to my family out there, they was happy for me. God is good, man. God is good.
Eugenio, what made this team so special?
The union. We are together the whole time. We're not just teammates. We are family. This team is awesome. We are family here. That's why we play with passion, with love, because we feel the jersey. We feel our country in front of us. That's why this is a lot for us as players, as a people, as a human beings. And as a Venezuela, now we are the champion.
I like that he was able to pivot because he knew he wasn't going to get the stats and the things that he was looking for. So he said, what is it like to be...
This isn't going to be a hardcore baseball interview.
Right?
You're right. You could hear Ken halfway through that realize, okay, I'm just going to bite.
You just got to kind of just go with what they're giving you.
A couple of things that he attributes it to. God and family.
Yeah.
Those are the two number one things that he is crediting for winning the World Baseball Classic Championship.
Well, they went in there the underdogs. You got to believe. If you don't have something to believe in and if you don't have that power of like, we can do this, then really, what are you doing? So I think that's really great. And you know that you can look out in the stands and see your family supporting you. That's the greatest gift of all.
Thanks for coming in today, Anna.
It's so much fun.
Good chat.
Thank you.
On Friday, we'll do listener DMs.
I can't wait to hear what your listeners have to say.
Got some great ones. I was saying at the end of yesterday's pod, I actually got a complaint. Somebody said, Scott, you're a conservative. Why are you being so hard on Doug Ford? And I thought, do you watch the news? Like, it's not hard to do.
Conservative?
Is he conservative? That's a good question. I mean, yes, he's the leader of the Progressive Conservative Party. I just think that his values no longer align with mine or the middle class anymore. Yeah. So that's why I've done that. But I've also tried to explain to people, yes, I call myself a conservative because there is no middle class party, but my only priorities are the middle class. Mm-hmm. The rich are doing just fine. The poor, let's lift everybody up, right? A rising tide raises all ships. Yeah. And I think that if we don't shore up our middle class, that's going to be the end of this country. Case in point, somebody told me years ago that, a true indicator of the economy is McDonald's and fast food restaurants. When fast food restaurants are cutting their prices, the economy is bad. Lo and behold, on Monday, America announced McDonald's is going to offer a $4 breakfast combo. You get a coffee, a hash brown, and a McMuffin sandwich for $4. They were trying to charge people $9, almost $10 for that exact same thing only a few months ago.
That to me, what? That's just criminal activity.
Isn't it?
That's ridiculous. It should only be $4. And $4 even then, that's excessive because I'm getting a hash brown, okay, some potatoes, whatever, deep fried. And getting a coffee, you just poured it in. Like, give me a break. What are we doing here for like $10 now, only $4? Like...
Well, it makes me wonder because, and by the way, as I'm saying this, I just read that the Bank of Canada is going to leave the interest rate unchanged. Good that they're not raising it, but bad. People need relief. More than 50% of Canadians are living check to check right now.
I believe it. I believe that.
McDonald's is cutting prices, and if that should be all the evidence you need that our economy is just not doing great. And they don't talk about it on the news. You're not going to hear the politicians come out and talk about how bad the economy is because it would make them look bad because they're in charge of it. But everybody feels it, I think.
Yeah, but those higher ups are doing well. They're wealthy. They don't understand what we're going through and that we are living paycheck to paycheck and times are tough. And we can't help the poor if we can't help ourselves. So that's just like on a flight. You got to put the mask on yourself before you can help the person next to you.
Well said. Friends, tomorrow, whatever comes out of today, I will have on a brand new edition of Scott Fox After 9. If you're listening on vacation somewhere, have an amazing time. You're coming back to an absolute hellhole.
I'm so, yeah, it's cold.
It's just awful here. Yesterday, it felt minus 22. We had a 21-degree swing in 24 hours.
I'm going to sound like my mother and be like, see, this is why people get sick.
Yeah, that's why people get sick. Don't go out with wet hair.
Oh, my gosh, right?
Have a great day, Anna.
Thank you, you too.
And thank you for listening to this episode of Scott Fox After 9. Again, a brand new episode coming out in less than 24 hours.